Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Hi! You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
It's a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight, that's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time. to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is game time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Mortgage Group. I've been teaching here at Guerin Catholic for 13 years. I've been assistant coach also for 13 years. And I think it's important in today's world that we have young people growing up with the morals and values of faith-based education.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Thompson with Integrity Mortgage Group, and I support Guerin Catholic High School because I'm good friends and business partners with assistant coach Tommy Muscari, and any chance I have to support a Christ-centered education for today's youth, I take advantage of that opportunity and support in any way I can with my time, effort, volunteering, funds, and commercials like these.
Together we soar. Guerin Catholic Sports on IndianaSRN,
where you're always in the game.
Good evening and welcome to this telecast of high school baseball on IndianaSRN. I'm James Andrews, joined by my co-host Troy Darengowski. Troy, spring is in the air. We are not in a crowded gymnasium, are we? We are out on a baseball field doing IndianaSRN's first baseball game of the spring. How does it feel to be back out here?
Well, first off, let me clarify something. It may be spring on the calendar, but it ain't spring out here very much. I know it's a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. The good news is we're going to get this in. There was at least a little bit of worry. There might be some rain tonight, but I think we're safe there. So that's the good news. Second of all, you're going to see two really good pitchers here tonight. And, Tato, if they're both on their game this evening, this could be really a low-scoring affair.
That you are right. Starting with the visiting Covenant Christian Warriors, they have starting pitcher Brock Buckley going. Buckley was their ace from last year, throwing to a 2.45 ERA. He is currently committed to Indiana Wesleyan to pitch next year, so he's certainly going to be somebody to look out for here. You know, what he really does is he throws a hard fastball. His coach says on his better days he can even get it up to 90. Now, I don't know if we can really expect that today given the weather that you mentioned. It's not quite those 90-degree summer days yet where you can really get it loose. But he's also got a great changeup that he likes to supplement with that, and then a nice breaking ball. And even a knuckleball he'll mix in there sometimes, too. What do you really like about Buckley?
Well, he hasn't thrown a ton of innings yet, and generally this early in the season, your ace or anybody else really isn't going to throw a whole lot right now. He threw a couple of innings against Cascade. They won that ball game by a final of 9-4, only gave up a couple of hits in those two innings and struck out 4, but then he played in that matchup and pitched against Burbuff in the first game of their doubleheader, and what hurt him that night is he ended up walking 4. So if he can control, he's in pretty good shape. If he walks a lot of guys, that's when he really does have a tendency to get in trouble. So he's going to have to do a really good job tonight of keeping things in the strike zone.
Absolutely. And then on the other end for their lineup, they have 7 starters in their lineup, all from last year returning. And so it's really, they have a nice mix of just that experience and guys who have played together and grown up together. Who is it that really stands out most often to you in this lineup?
Are you speaking of Guerin? Or are you speaking of
Covenant
Covenant?
Christian.
Well, it's got to start with Buckley because Buckley does it on both sides of the plate, and he's going to be the number 4 hitter, and we'll talk more about them coming up in a moment.
In the name of the Father, and the Son.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Brad Nardi.
We are back at Guerin Catholic High School to do the Covenant Christian versus Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles game. Back along here beside Troy Darengowski. Troy, when we left off, we started talking about Guerin's lineup. First of all, they'll have Clay Patton starting pitching on the mound. He'll also be hitting third in the lineup, just as like Brock Buckley is for Covenant Christian. What are you looking to expect out of Clay Patton today?
Well, the one thing their coach talked about is he's got to keep his pitch counts down, so they don't want to get to that bullpen too quickly. And if you look at what Covenant wants to do, and Covenant can do this. If they can put some runs on the board early, force the starting pitcher for Guerin to get out of the ball game, that'll be a big plus for them. When you look at Guerin in their first 4 games, and they're undefeated, and by the way, they did get some votes this week in the latest baseball poll, is they're scoring runs, but they're holding people in check all season long through 4 games. The most runs they've given up so far is 4. They gave up 4 to a good Monroe Central team. They gave up 4 to a good Chittard team. But they ended up winning all of those games because their offense was so good. So, like any other sport, when you talk about what baseball is all about, it's really about pitching, and they've got to get good pitching today. Make sure Covenant doesn't get out loose on the base paths as well. If they can do that, they stand to go to 5-0, and it'd be another conference win. And what also makes it big today, they probably won't play tomorrow because they play today and then go to Covenant Christian tomorrow. If they play tomorrow, I'll be really, really surprised because the weather is going to be a huge factor tomorrow.
Yeah, that's something that the Guerin coach mentioned to me when I talked to him earlier today, was that he had 4 pitchers lined up to piggyback these next 2 games, but with tomorrow's forecast looking very unlikely that they're going to play, that he is prepared to throw all 4 of those guys tonight if need be. That way he doesn't leave them out there hanging out in the bullpen to not get them in tomorrow and then have them be cold going into this weekend when they have those double headers. And, to your point about Covenant Christian, one of the things that they're trying to do is they're trying to put up runs. That was a big area where they were really lacking last year. So when I talked to their coach, he said that was the biggest thing, is that they were trying to put up runs this year. They still obviously want to focus on their pitching and their fielding, but that's really where they're looking to get after and really make some new things this year. Last year, they split the series with Guerin Catholic. They won the first game 11-4 by putting up runs exactly as I mentioned, and then they lost the second game 6-2. So if this game gets kind of out of hand and goes higher scoring, I think it really favors Covenant Christian.
Well, and you could be right. And the thing is, we're so early in the season, and what has happened, and it generally happens in high school baseball in the state of Indiana, we really ought to be playing baseball in August and throw football this time of year because it seems to be turned around. They just don't get much good weather, and it doesn't just affect them on game day. And today it's going to be windy, it's going to be cloudy, and it's going to be a little bit chilly. So a lot of the times early in the season, they're in the gym so much trying to just get some BP in that they don't get a chance to come out here and play. And you're thinking one team's only had 3 games, one team has had 4. Guerin, by the way, had a few days off for spring break. So they are just now coming back. So I'll be interested to see how sharp they are in their first game back from that spring break.
Yeah, baseball players are creatures of habit, as you know. We want to be out there playing every single day, throwing, long tossing, fielding ground balls. And when you're not able to get outside, it is just so tough to do. Even the little things like fielding ground balls off dirt. You go 3 days without doing it, you can really just forget what that dirt feels like and how the bounces are different.
Yeah, you're going to get a natural bounce inside, not out here all the time.
Yeah. Now Nolan Moore, number 13, will come up for Covenant Christian, leading it off for them today. Clay Patton will take the mound for Guerin Catholic. Prepares to deliver the first pitch, and it is a strike out on the outside corner. Covenant Christian's lineup today has Nolan Moore leading off, as you see. Ethan Kimmerly batting second. Brock Buckley hitting third. Trey Rapogel hitting fourth, as Patton throws strike 2 at that same spot. Brad Nardi will be hitting fifth in center field. Jackson Ware is the starting first baseman hitting sixth. Nolan Jones is behind the plate doing the catching, hitting 7th. Jamison Laughlin is in left field, hitting 8th. And Ty Gillespie is rounding out in the 9-hole. As Clay Patton gets strike 3 right there on the leadoff Nolan Moore. Very good pitch there. Looked like he just went right at him with the fastball on 0-2.
Well, and that's exactly what they talked about early. Low pitch count. You can't ask any more than that. 3 pitches and you get the leadoff hitter. Really good start here for Guerin.
Yeah, that's not what you want to do if you're the leadoff hitter, to go up there and just watch 3 straight pitches go down the strike zone as Ethan Kimmerly fouls off the first pitch for strike 1.
A lot of times, too, it's a mental thing. If I can get out on a quick start as a pitcher and let these guys know that I'm going to come at him, it can really be a huge benefit.
Yeah, that looked like a breaking ball in the dirt there for his first off-speed pitch. That'll be ball 1. A 1-1 count now.
And I watched them both throw in the bullpen. Both of them were really very good around the area that they needed to throw. Though that one is a little bit low and inside, they both did a nice job of commanding that fastball. I know that's in the bullpen, but you can learn a lot about what they're thinking in the bullpen.
Mm-hmm. That pitch is just low. Now Ethan Kimberly way up here in a 3-1 count. And to your point, Patton does look smooth out there. He's got a very simple delivery, just a little drop step leg kick, gets right to it. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. Well, here's the other thing, too. Guerin plays in a big ballpark. You're going to have to really hit it well to get it out of here if you're going to try to do that, but they got a lot of room to maneuver in the outfield.
Wow, strike 3 right down the pipe from Clay Patton. That is the second strikeout looking for him in the first 2 batters of the game. Ethan Kimberly just not sure what exactly he was expecting there, but he looked like he just didn't get whatever that was.
Well, top of the order, you got to be swinging in the bat, and so far we saw Moore and Kimberly both watch a pretty good pitch go by for the 3rd strike, and as a head coach, that'll drive you nuts. You got those guys at the top because you need them on base.
The 3-hitter, Brock Buckley, takes a first pitch rip and swings and misses. Patton gets up 0-1 on the count here.
Well, as they said, this is the guy right here. If Patton can work on him and get this guy at number 3, you're really doing a nice job with those first 2 guys, but this is a little different animal here with Buckley.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is Rapogel. Excuse me. Buckley's next. Yeah, we'll see Buckley coming up here in a couple of moments. But generally what you see in a guy that's the number 3 hitter is the guy who might be the best hitter on the team.
Ooh, fielded by the shortstop, and he is out at first base. A good play there by shortstop A.J. Nunley. And we will take a break as we head to the bottom of the first inning. 2 strikeouts for Clay Patton in the first. We will see you in the next inning. We're back here in the bottom half of the first as Brock Buckley takes the mound. We got Guerin Catholic coming up to plate here. We have Will Fremian leading off in center field. Anthony Ferrucci hitting in the 2-hole at third base. Their pitcher, Clay Patton, hitting third. Davis Wagner will be in right field hitting in the 4-hole. Sam Tabor will be at second base hitting 5th. Bryson Dorsey will be behind the plate doing the catching for Guerin Catholic, hitting 6th. Ryan Zimmerman will be hitting 7th in the order and playing first base. Quinn Morrow will be playing left field, number 19, hitting in the 8-hole. And then lastly, the coach's son, A.J. Nunley, at shortstop, batting 9th. Who are the biggest standouts in Guerin's lineup to you?
Well, let's start with Patton again. He got a double guy just like what we see with Buckley, and we'll see Buckley hit in the next half inning. So, you know what? They can score some runs. You put up 18 against Chittard, winning both of those conference games. They scored 10 in the second game of the doubleheader, so they're going to score runs. I'll be curious to see just if they're going to get on base. I was watching the catcher for Covenant Christian just a little bit in Nolan Jones. Not a really strong arm, and he has kind of a wind-up when he throws down to second base. So if they can get on, I think they'll try to steal against him a little bit here tonight.
Buckley fires the first pitch, and that'll hit the outside corner for strike 1. And as your point, if your pop time is anything over 2.5 seconds, it can really hinder your ability to control the base running for the other team. Ground out easy to the first baseman. Buckley moves over to cover first base, and they record the first out of the inning.
Oh, Buckley, you could tell right there, had good pop on his fastball, and the hitter Freemion was just a little bit behind it.
Anthony Ferrucci.
Next up will be number 15, Anthony Ferrucci, playing third base. What do you try to do when you're going up against your first at-bat with a kid who throws, close to 90, if you maybe haven't seen that type of speed before?
Well, the one thing about it, you can't simulate in practice unless you have somebody that's throwing 90, and I doubt very much that you see the guys that are throwing BP or throwing that hard either. So you just have to adjust, and they'll tell you sit back a little bit in the batter's box and really have to anticipate on the count as you see the check swing there. And it really does come down to knowing when you're going to see that fastball, and generally what high school pitchers do is they'll open up with a fastball. So if you're a first pitch hitter, you're in pretty good shape. Now, if you get behind in the count and you're looking for it and he throws you an off-speed pitch, you're going to be in big trouble.
Buckley delivers the 0-2 pitch here. That is another fastball, but that'll be off the outside corner there. Yeah, you get the feeling that if he puts that 0-2 fastball dotted on the spot in the corner, that there's just nothing the hitter can really do there.
Well, you're going to have to go the opposite way with it if you can get a bat on it at all. But I don't know that a day like today, like you said earlier, it's not an evening where we're going to see a lot of 90-mile-an-hour fastballs for sure. It's just not warm enough, and if you're a warm weather pitcher, and I would imagine Buckley is, you're going to chance it this early in the season.
Gets the strikeout there on the pitch in the dirt, and that'll be his first K of the day.
Well, that was a good pitch, too, by the way. Kept it low in the strike zone. With the wind the way it is blowing here today, though, it would take quite a poke to get it out of here. Want to keep the ball down low and get as many ground balls as you possibly can. And that time, Ferrucci just went after a bad pitch.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the starting pitcher now here in three-hitter Clay Patton. Hits the first pitch, but right back up the middle. Buckley with fire over to first base, and that will do it here. No runs, no hits, no errors for Guerin Catholic in the bottom half of the first. We will go to the second inning. You're watching high school baseball on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
We're back at Guerin Catholic High School, where the score is still 0-0 after the first full inning here. Clay Patton, the pitcher for Guerin Catholic, will take the mound again, as Covenant Christian will have 4, 5, 6. And now Brock Buckley will be coming up to hit.
Yeah, we were watching for Buckley in the last half inning, kind of got ahead of ourselves with Repogel instead of Buckley. But nonetheless, this will be interesting. Good of hitter as a Buckley is, and he's again their best hitter statistically so far coming into this ball game, and how he'll be challenged here by Clay Patton, who had again both pitchers had an easy first inning. Sometimes they can be kind of fool's gold, so don't let that thing, oh boy, I tell you what, we're going to sail through this ball game, because you'll see a pitcher make one mistake and the next thing you know it could be a 4-run inning. And what is her Covenant this year is giving up a big inning. So I'm going to be curious to see how they react when a couple of runners get on base from Guerin. They don't want that big inning to happen, and it's hurt them so far this early portion of the year.
Absolutely.
Top of the second, number 23.
And something else I noticed here is we have the two starting pitchers going up against each other. They're both wearing short sleeves, Troy. What's up with that?
Well, it's only 64, so that's not bad. But, pitchers, if they don't like that on their arms, they're not going to wear anything underneath unless it's really, really cold. So
you see Patton starts him off with the first pitch breaking ball there. That's too high, ball 1. Ooh, good fastball on the outside corner.
And I'm not sure from a power standpoint, we'll know more, I'm sure, as we go through the game with Buckley, is that if you're a number 4 hitter, try to pitch out high and tight or pitch up high and tight and low and away. And they went low and away that time. Because the one thing you don't want to do is that number 4 guy to extend his arms and be able to get a really good look at a fastball.
That one just missed. Looked like it was down low. And that's something I know some pitching coaches are split on. Do you try to crowd him inside to not let him get his hands extended, or do you throw him outside and try to keep it away from him? Definitely be interesting to see where they lean to here, as that pitch will catch the corner there for strike 2.
Well, I really think you got to do both. You got to keep him off balance. If I'm going to come back inside, I'm not going to come in there twice. I'm going to try to go away from him and see if he'll fish for it. So you can kind of work both ways for you.
Good breaking ball there, but Buckley holds off and is the first base runner of the day. Takes the walk.
That brings up number 11, Brad Nardi.
Well, you kind of hinted at it. In my opinion, this is where a baseball game really starts here. As soon as the pitcher now has to get out of the windup and go from the stretch and have a runner on base.
Well, some pitchers don't react to it very well, and I've seen games over the many years where teams want to run, and I'm covering games over at Earlham College at some point where they're stealing 125 bases a year as a team because they felt that was an advantage. That pitcher has to split his concentration between that runner and the hitter, and some of them just don't react very well.
Yep. As you see the second straight pitch down low for ball 2. He does have a very quick delivery out there on the mound, so it's going to be tough for hitters to pick that up out of his slide step.
Well, and you got to change up that stretch too, and again, that's a good throw.
Back and further, but the ball gets away from the first baseman. Broccoli will head on into second base here and stop there.
Well, that'll be, I'm pretty sure, a throwing error on the pitcher, though it looked like to me your first baseman had every opportunity to catch that ball in Zimmerman, but I don't mind the move as much as I do. You really don't have to pick him off in order to be successful. Just keep him close if you possibly can. Keep him out of scoring position, and then go to work on Nardi.
Yeah, that's where as a pitcher you have your A pickoff move, your B pickoff move, and sometimes even a C pickoff move. He went straight for the A one there and took a big risk, and that's what we saw happen instead of just trying to lob that ball over there and make him get back. 2-0 is the count on Brad Nardi. Big swing and a miss there from the center fielder. This is not the guy in Covenant Christian's lineup that you want to fall behind because he probably has the most raw power on the team.
Well, they're playing him to hit to right field. You see the center fielder shaded over. That's Freemion in center field.
Ball gets away from the catcher there on the swing as Buckley takes third base. Count will be 2-2.
Well, and then you look at your catcher, and Dorsey got to make that play behind the plate because now you've got your runner only 90 feet away from getting ahead in this one. So you've really seen your pitcher's done his job. Now you got to get your other guys to certainly catch the baseball.
Strike 3, a fastball hits the corner there. And Brad Nardi goes down looking, the third Covenant Christian Warrior to go down looking so far today.
Well, I would imagine the message going into the dugout is guys have got to swing the bat somehow. You see what happens when you do. We're able to score some runs in earlier games, but we've left too many guys on base in those games, so got to find a way to make some contact here, not watch.
Yeah, as that pitches across the plate for strike 1.
Infield's going to play in. Now, this may be an indication that, like you said earlier, it may be one of those low-scoring affairs. They want to make sure that run doesn't score here early. Generally, you don't mind giving up that run early in the ball game, but I think for Guerin coming back after their little spring break that they don't want to take any chances.
Yeah, that pitch is fouled just left of the third base bag.
And now you can solve a lot of issues right here if you go after Ware and just get him out of there, strike him out like you did 3 of the other hitters. And then you can pull that infield back and just let your pitcher, Patton, do the rest of the work.
A breaking ball in the dirt for strike 3 on the swing. He throws over to first base and records the put out for 2 outs in the inning. There you said it. They got the big strikeout. Now that infield can relax.
Yeah, they can. I thought that was a really good pitch. He went out and away, and just a pitch that there was no way that Ware was going to hit that baseball at that location. Well, that was a really good pitch that time by Patton.
Here comes the catcher, Nolan Jones, now to try to get that run in. Swings and misses at the first pitch.
See, he's got some movement on that ball. I couldn't really tell if that was a breaking pitch. If it was up in the strike zone, and Jones had no chance getting that one, but it had a lot of movement.
Oh, line drive, but right at the second baseman, Sam Tabor, recorded for out number 3. No hits, no runs, and 1 left on base in the inning as we head to the bottom half of the second. You're watching high school baseball on IndianaSRN.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We are back at Guerin Catholic High School for the bottom half of the second inning. Brock Buckley will take the mound again after a relatively quick first inning, where he went 3 up, 3 down. Now Davis Wagner will be leading it off, the right fielder for Guerin Catholic.
Well, an easy first inning, as you said, and again, you got to put strings together, and this will be another big inning. And again, Covenant Christian this year has had that kind of that Achilles heel of giving up big innings, especially in those 2 games that they had against Brebeuf. So got to stay on your toes. Cannot take any moments off, especially when you're playing a conference game like this one.
Absolutely, and for Buckley, I think he's got a little bit of a deeper pitch count than Patton does, so I think for him it's going to be more so trying to really carve up this lineup and get strikeouts, even if that means he's not being as efficient as he possibly can.
Well, a lot of that might have to do with how good your bullpen is, too. You want to get your ace out there and throw as much as you possibly can, but also know that you've got a lot of baseball to be played. So, you know, it's always a fine line between how much you want to throw this young man and how early do you want to go to your bullpen.
Wagner hits the ball the other way, and it is down in the gap. He's rounding first, headed on to second base, and he will be in there standing up with a leadoff double.
And Wagner able to take it the opposite way, stayed right with the pitch and found an open hole there in right center field. So good piece of hitting there by Wagner. So now what we saw Covenant do in their top half of the inning, get a guy in scoring position.
Yeah, you can see he just did a great job of going inside out with that baseball, not trying to do too much, just taking it and driving it to the right center field gap. Bunt here, and it's fielded by Buckley, thrown on to first. And a good job by Sam Tabor, the second baseman, to get that runner over to third base.
Yeah, nice sacrifice. Laid that bunt down perfectly right in front of the catcher. His only play was at first base. Wagner did a good job reading it and able to get the runner to third relatively easily. So now you're 90 feet away from getting that first run.
Strike 1 on the pitch here to the catcher, Bryson Dorsey. And you know, if you are struggling to score runs when you're going up against an elite pitcher like Buckley, playing that small type of baseball can really be a huge factor there.
Well, there's a couple of ways to look at it. A lot of teams try to go for that big inning all the time, and sometimes that just doesn't work. But if you can use all the tools in your toolbox.
Grounded onto first base and is fielded by number 12. And stepped on, recorded the out at first inning. That'll be 2 outs, but a run will score on that play as Davis Wagner comes in to home.
Yeah, Dorsey gets the RBI for that, went the opposite way again, went with the pitch. But what I was going to say a little bit ago, I like teams, too, that'll sacrifice a runner, get runners in scoring position, go from there, and that time Guerin, they did that perfectly.
What did you think about the decision there by the Warriors' first baseman Jackson Ware to go to first and record the out?
Well, I don't think he'd had to play at home. The ball came off that grass a little bit slower to that side, and get the out. It's only one run. I know you're giving up a run right there, but it's not a big inning that they've had problems with this year, so I'll take the out and then work on your next hitter.
Yeah, and a swing and a miss there by the first baseman for Guerin Catholic, Ryan Zimmerman.
Now, if it were in the fifth, sixth inning, I might look at it a little bit differently, but it's way too early. Too many things can still happen.
Ooh, big swing and a miss there for strike 3 as Buckley gets out of the inning. 1 hit, 1 run, nobody left on base for Guerin Catholic as they take a 1-0 lead over the Covenant Christian Warriors. We'll be back for the top of the third inning on Indiana SRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back here for the top of the third inning is Guerin Catholic. Holds a 1-0 lead over Covenant Christian. Clay Patton will take the mound. He's been moving relatively quickly through these first 2 innings, doing everything his coach has pretty much asked him to do here so far.
Yeah, he's pitched well, only gave up the walk and eventually ended up getting out of the inning relatively easily. So now you go with the 8, 9, and back to the top of the order. Remember, hitters like coming back the second and third times. You kind of get an idea of what you're throwing, how you're going to throw, what your patterns are. So that's really going to be the key for both pitchers.
And even for these guys at the bottom of the order now they've had 2 innings to talk to the players who have already hit and really talk to them about what the kind of stuff that they're seeing.
Well, as you said, baseball players have certainly a habit they go through, and pitchers do the same thing. And they got scouting reports as that one's fouled off. They got scouting reports on each of these teams to kind of know what they want to do. And if I'm Guerin and I'm certainly Patton, I mean, you're talking about 8 and 9 in the order. To some guys, some teams will have really good hitters at the bottom of the order, kind of make it almost another leadoff hitter. So you got to be very careful, even though they're in the 8-9 hole.
0-2 pitch to Laughlin here. And it is fouled back to the screen.
But that was a good cut, too. I mean, it was a little bit high in the strike zone, but at least he wasn't standing there watching like we've seen 3 other hitters do for Covenant. You got to go up there and really take good cuts at the pitch.
Ooh, and a good curveball gets Laughlin to swing and miss for strike 3. You know what? He did what you asked him to do. He went down swinging. He put a couple of good hacks on the first couple of pitches to fight them off, and then still took a swing at the curveball.
Yeah, and Alexander saw that was a breaking pitch. He just was a little bit over the top of it, and that was a really good pitch that time by Patton.
Another breaking ball here. First pitch to be strike 1 to Ty Gillespie's. A little antsy to go get that one.
Yeah, got to be a little bit calmer here. You're getting your first look at Patton. Don't be swinging at that pitch way outside.
Takes that fastball low.
Hey, listen, we've all played baseball. Sometimes you get up there, I don't care how much the guys tell you in the dugout what he's throwing, you still can get a little bit anxious at times, and just got to keep within the realm of your hitting.
So that pitch is swung on and missed to make it a 1-2 count.
Well, right here, your head, as you said, 1 and 2. I'm not so sure that you don't show him that breaking pitch. You have a pitch you can waste right here and show him what you did to Alexander a couple of moments ago and striking him out.
As Gillespie calls for timeout there, maybe to gather his head for a minute. We did see that breaking ball there, 1-2, but he does do a good job of holding off on it there.
Well, that's a good waste pitch right there. It wasn't hittable in any fashion whatsoever. So that's a really good pitch here by Patton.
Fastball up in the zone, holds off on it. Now to go to a full 3-2 count.
You know, some pitchers pitch really well against the wind. The wind is blowing from behind us, so that means it's blowing pretty much into left and center field. So some pitchers don't pitch as well into the wind.
3-2 pitch is fouled off.
Sometimes they use that to their advantage, too. If they get a good break on it, that wind will take the ball a little bit more in a break than you normally would see. Gillespie calls the timeout, and he's got to really protect right here.
Breaking ball in the dirt is swung on for strike 3, and Dorsey will record the put out at first base. Another strikeout for Patton so far. That makes 6 on the day through the first 8 outs of the game.
Very, very productive, and right now he's keeping the hitters off balance, and that's been a big key. He'll come back inside with that fastball, use that breaking pitch, throw it out and away, and a lot of times the Covenant Christian hitters are just fishing for a good pitch to hit, and they just haven't had that opportunity yet.
As the first pitch is up and away to leadoff hitter Nolan Moore, who will be making his second at-bat of the game. Pitch number 2 misses in the same spot.
Well, this is where we talked about a little bit ago. Now your second time around, you've seen not only the pitches you got, you've seen all your teammates' pitches. You kind of have an idea what to look for here.
That one is in the dirt. We'll go for ball 3. And now Nolan Moore is weighed up so he can really just sit back and just wait for his pitch.
Yeah, Moore last time went down in 3. This time he's a little more patient at the plate and has yet to really swing the bat yet.
Ball 4 just missed up in the zone. And now Nolan Moore will get the second base runner of the game for the Warriors. Here with 2 out in the top of the third.
Well, now if you're Covenant, you're only down 1-0. I don't know too much about Moore, whether he's a base stealer or not. Generally, your leadoff hitter is a guy that can steal bases. If you take a chance here in the third inning, maybe get something going offensively.
First pitch is swung on and missed by Ethan Kimmerly. Just by Nolan Moore's lead over there at first base, it looks like he's seriously considering it. And when you have a guy at the top of the lineup, you know he's always a threat to go.
Well, let's see what his lead is here. This will be a big key. If he can get out to right about there, maybe another half step.
Strike 2 there, swung on and missed from Kimmerly.
Well, now I'm thinking to myself, I may go ahead and send him right here, knowing Kimmerly's been behind on both of those pitches and perhaps get a stolen base, get somebody in scoring position with the 2 outs.
Strike 3 as he does go, but it will not matter as Clay Patton gets his 7th strikeout of the game to get out of the inning. We will be back on IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
We're back for the bottom half of the third inning on IndianaSRN. Coming up for Guerin Catholic will be Quinn Morrow, the left fielder, number 19.
Leading off for Guerin, number 19, Quinn Morrow.
Is that his walk-up song? You know, they do that walk-up song a lot nowadays. You know, I was playing, they barely had a PA system, let alone have a walk-up song.
How long ago was that exactly?
A long time ago.
Buckley delivers the pitch, and that'll be strike one to bring it to a 1-1 count.
Now, I'm not as old as Keith Myers, but I'm right behind him.
Hard ground ball down to second baseman, but it is fielded cleanly and thrown on to first for the out.
You know, the way these two guys are pitching today, you're going to go back to that old saying, you hate to see anybody lose a game like this, but really both are pitching very, very well, and I would anticipate, like you said, Buckley's going to go as deep as they possibly can, knowing that they may not play tomorrow. This would be a really big win for Covenant.
Here comes the shortstop, A.J. Nunley, batting in the 9-hole.
Yeah, notice that Keith had texted us, said people are watching in Pennsylvania. They must be related to you, huh?
Probably not. I don't know who would want to hop on here and listen to me blabber. That pitch is in there for strike one.
You going to tell me you didn't tell anybody or what?
Whatever helps our ratings on IndianaSRN. We'll just leave it at that.
It's all about the team, right?
All about the team. That pitch is fouled back for strike two. Good swing there by Nunley. Looked like he really kept the head on the ball.
You know, we mentioned Guerin had come in here. They're coming off that spring break. Didn't maybe get as many cuts in as they'd like to, so see how they'll do as the game continues to move along.
Yeah, that pitch is fouled away. Just past the first base dugout. Well, but if there's anybody on this player that wasn't missing out on reps, I'm going to guess it was A.J. Nunley, the coach's son now.
Yeah, they probably got some while they're on the vacation, too, yeah.
That breaking ball inside is fouled off.
And we're still so early in the season. You haven't seen a whole lot, even in the 3 and 4 games these two teams have played, just haven't seen a whole lot of good pitching yet, probably at this stage, and getting yourself in a rhythm as far as a hitter goes.
Pitch is fouled off again. Fourth straight foul ball to come off of A.J. Nunley's bat. Yeah, and to your point, especially when you're opening the season with non-conference games, teams usually aren't throwing, their best stuff at the other team. It's more so just, let everybody get going and feel it out. Oftentimes you only throw your starting pitchers for 1 or 2 innings versus, 5 or 6. Oh, and that pitch is driven out to left field. It is over the left fielder's head and dumps in. Nunley will try for second base here, and he will be in there safely. He flirts with going to third base there, but will wisely go back to second base and settle with a double there with 1 out.
Yeah, Nunley would flirt with it and be sitting next to his dad probably at some point. So that's a nice piece of hitting. He just kind of reached out and poked it, didn't have to hit it really hard, and did a nice job hustling down to second base, and now you have another runner in scoring position.
Yeah, these pitchers will do the work for you. They will put all the power behind the baseball. If you just make contact with it, it'll go out there. Ooh. First baseman dives on the ball there, and it will not be in time there on the cover by Buckley. Jackson Ware does a good job of diving in front of the baseball, but can't field it clearly. And now, Freeman will try to take second base, but he is out.
Boy, that is a tough out right there for Guerin. As you would have had runners at first and third with just 1 out, and you have your number 2 hitter up there. That's quite a gamble this early.
I was just about to say, are we seeing this big inning here from Guerin Catholic that has plagued Covenant Christian for so long? But, making mistakes like that will quickly kill that rally.
Well, now you're going to hope that Ferrucci can get a base hit here, and then you'll quickly forget about that base running in the air that time. So we'll see how they respond.
Ooh. Curveball swung on and missed for strike 2. That was a great pitch there. Really, you could tell it started on the plate and then just took a right turn and just went into the other batter's box. The 0-2 pitch here from Buckley. And it is the same pitch. It is swung on and missed in the dirt. And the throw from the catcher is in time at first base. And Buckley will get out of the jam. We have 1 hit, no runs. 1 man left on base here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. We're going to the 4th here on IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We're back here in the top half of the fourth. As you see, Patton is still on the mound, ready to throw his fourth frame of the day. So far, this pitching matchup has delivered pretty much everything that we have expected, as Clay Patton has 7 strikeouts thus far through the first 3 innings.
Well, he's done a phenomenal job. I got to go back, though, to that last half inning in which Freemion got a little bit greedy and tried to take that base, because you got to think about it in the totality of the game, is that it's just 1 inning. But at the same time, that could have erased a very big inning as well, because you had a guy at third base. You had a number 2 and 3 hitters up there coming up next. You kind of took the bat out of their hand, and we won't know until later in the game, see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, and something else you mentioned, the catcher Nolan Jones for Covenant Christian doesn't have the strongest arm there, so if you have first and third, 1 out, you could probably take an easy swipe at second base and just get that on the first pitch.
Yeah, and at least make the pitcher work at it a little bit, and you make Buckley throw a few more pitches, so maybe he won't be as effective down the road if they try to use him a few extra innings.
Oh, Trey Rapogel gets into one. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Trey Rapogel will touch them all as he ties the game here for Covenant Christian Warriors in the top of the 4th inning. That ball was way gone beyond the fence as you see his team come out. So congratulate him there.
Extended his arms. We talked about that. The one thing that Patton couldn't do is leave that ball out over the plate and let these guys extend. You can either go high and tight, low and away, and Rapogel's just a really good hitter, the number 3 spot, and he got every bit of it.
That ball landed just in front of the trees out there in left center field on that hill. Whew, man. And you mentioned that it's a deep park for Guerin Catholic. I mean, how far do you think that one went? That looked like easily 400 plus.
Yeah, and I don't know they don't have the dimensions out here as Buckley takes that one for a strike. And it doesn't help that you have a little bit of wind behind you as well. Get it up there in the jet stream and let it fly a little bit, but he got every bit of it.
And that pitch will miss for a 1-1 count. You know, Covenant Christian's coach Chris Stevenson told me before the game that he was really expecting a big year out of Trey Rapogel. And if he keeps swinging the bat like that, he might just get it.
Well, you're certainly right, and especially after you look at what Patton has been able to do through the first 3 innings against this Covenant lineup, to come out and get a dinger like that, that really will help your team from a confidence standpoint.
Yeah, now for Clay Patton, this is really a big at-bat for him here. You want to just settle back into your groove, you know. You gave up the big hit, but no harm, no foul. Nobody's on base. You know, it's a tie game. Just go back to work.
Well, in baseball, we play a lot of what-ifs, and sometimes we do that in all sports, that what-if at the bottom of that third, and we'll talk more about that toward the end of the game, but what if? And as a pitcher, and I know he gives up the walk right there, but as a pitcher, you want to see your offense play smart. They didn't play that very smart, speaking of Guerin there, in the 3rd inning, and you're hoping it's not going to cost you eventually, but got to play smart baseball.
I think we're going to see a pinch runner here as number 25 comes in to run for Brock Buckley. That will be Gavin Tyndall coming into the game, just as a courtesy runner here.
Number 11, the center fielder, Brad Nardi.
Now, did you like that as a pitcher if, you know, the coaches would bring a courtesy runner for you, or did you want to, you know, score those runs yourself?
I want to score the runs myself, but Again, the game has changed a lot over the years where you have courtesy runners. In fact, we're doing that stuff in Major League Baseball now, and extra innings, you put a runner at second base, and now the designated hitter in the National League, which is complete blasphemy. But I understand. I mean, it works to your advantage if you have somebody that's a good base runner, is fast, can steal bases, but from a position standpoint, may not be somebody who's going to get a lot of playing time. It can certainly be a huge benefit.
Curveball misses up in the zone. 2-1 count now for Brad Nardi. And something interesting over there at first base is, he's not really getting much of a lead off first base. You'd expect that the courtesy runner they would bring in would be somebody ready to run.
Well, they may have a feeling right now, if you're Covenant Christian, that Patton's now starting to miss his marks. I mean, he give up the home run, comes back, he ends up walking Buckley, got a guy on base or no outs, and Covenant doesn't want to run themselves out of an inning either. 3-1 count now for Nardi, and the runner will take off. It is strike two, and he is out on the throw. Wow. I don't know if he was out on the first, second, or the third tag, but one of them got him when he was off the base. Well, I would find it, again, hard to believe that Tinley was told to run right there. Again, your pitcher is struggling a little bit there for Guerin. You just hit a home run off of him. Why not try to make it a big inning? And they, I guess, decide, he might have gone on his own.
So we see the replay there. It's a good job avoiding the initial tag, but then he goes past the base there, and then it's a bang-bang, and the umpire's going to call him out on that one. Ooh, big swing there from Nardi, but it will be about straight away to center field, and the center fielder, Will Frimian, will make the catch.
Well, they got out of a big, I shouldn't say a big inning, but an opportunity back in the second when Buckley was left at third, and then you ended up getting a runner on base back in the third inning, and he came in, speaking of Patton, and struck out Kimberly to get out of the inning. Though you got a run here, probably could have been a bigger inning if you don't get the guy thrown out.
Jackson Ware will come up now. Take the first pitch outside for ball one.
And the reason I say that is you can kind of tell right now Patton is not the same pitcher in the fourth inning as he was in the first three innings.
Ware hits the ball almost in the same spot as Nardi, but the center fielder again, Frimian, is there and makes the catch. Patton may not have had his best stuff there for those last couple of hitters, but he gets the outs anyway, and we will head to the bottom of the fourth inning here on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
We're back here in the bottom of the fourth inning on IndianaSRN. We have a tie game still. The Covenant Christian Warriors versus the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles. Brock Buckley will take the mound for the bottom of the fourth inning here, as number 18, Clay Patton, will get set to hit here. Going back to that last inning, we saw Covenant Christian had nobody out and a runner on first, and it looked like Patton was real struggling. And then just like that, with a flip of the switch, you get caught running on a 3-1 count, and then 2 deep fly balls to center field, and just like that, they're out of the inning.
Well, and both teams have made that mistake in the base running error where we did the what if, as you see the pitch in there for a strike. But we won't know until we get to the end of the game what might have been when we get to that situation. But those are some mistakes that I told you during the break you don't want to make against really, really good baseball teams, because they'll get you eventually. The more mistakes you make and you give a team a second opportunity, you're probably going to lose.
Patton hit a comebacker right back up to the pitcher in his first at-bat. Be looking to do some more damage here as he takes ball one.
Well, Patton getting his second look now at Buckley. So everything from here on out, you pretty much kind of know the pattern that's going to be seen. But, boy, you can't look at a pitch like that.
Strike three on the inside corner will get him there.
See, and that's your number 3 hitter, and that's one thing you just don't want your number 3 hitter standing there watching a pitch like that. But that ball had really, really good movement there for Buckley.
It looks like Buckley's really doing multiple things with the baseball, both making it cut inside and cut outside. And as a hitter, how do you handle that when a pitcher can do so many different things with it?
Well, you don't play the guessing game. You got to think that if I'm what the count may be and what pitch I'm going to expect in that situation, and that's why they talk about baseball being a thinking man's game. Is the plate, you got to do that as well. You got to think what's going to be that next pitch, and am I going to guess right?
Curveball here, fouls off his shin for strike 2.
But again, you see the guy the second time around, you generally get a pretty good idea of what his pattern is going to be. And if he's up in the count 2-1, if he's down in the count 1-2, what he probably will throw, what he might be comfortable with if you've been watching, you get a pretty good idea of what he might come with next, especially if you know what he's throwing.
Strike 3 as Davis Wagner goes down looking for the second consecutive hitter.
Well, we're kind of seeing a reversal now. What we saw earlier for Covenant Christian standing there and watching some pretty good pitches go by, and now your number 3 and number 4 hitters for Guerin watch pretty good pitches.
And I was just about to mention that Wagner was the one who got the first hit of this game with that double down the left field line. Ooh, as Sam Tabor drills a shot over the second baseman's head, and he will get on base with a single.
Now, Tabor did a good job reading a fastball right out of the chute. We mentioned earlier, a lot of high school pitchers will always open it with a fastball because they want to get ahead in the count. And that time, Tabor read that one extremely well, able to get a base hit.
Yeah. Again, not trying to do too much with it, just taking it where the pitch is thrown and then hitting it out to right field. The catcher, Bryson Dorsey, will come up now to hit. Buckley will throw over to first base. 2 outs here in the inning. Dorsey will be looking to hit straight away. But as we've seen, both teams aren't afraid to get aggressive on the base paths. Buckley fires that pitch low for ball 1.
I don't mind being aggressive, but you also have to be smart about it. And sometimes you can get a little bit too aggressive and take yourself out of an inning, and we've seen both teams do that so far here in the first 4 innings.
Runner will take off, but that ball is fouled back over the first base dugout.
Well, it looked like Dorsey that time, a real run and hit situation there. Was going to hit behind the runner, but he did a good job protecting at the plate, able to foul that ball off and get another opportunity right here. But I like Tabor, though, taking off the way he did.
Explain to our audience back home who as Buckley throws over to first base there and almost gets Tabor leaning. That was very close there. Explain to our audience at home who say under the age of 40 and has never heard of a hit and run. What does that entail?
Under the age of 40. Well, first off, if you got a good contact hitter at the plate, generally what it is a hit and run, the first guy at first base isn't going to look back. If you have a run and hit, the guy at first base looking back to see what the hitter's going to do. Other than that, that's really the only difference right there, but you generally do with a really good contact hitter at the plate.
Runner takes off there, but it'll be strike 3 looking. The third consecutive hitter goes down looking as they will go down here. We will head to the top half of the 5th inning, still all tied up at 1 on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We're back in the top half of the fifth inning as we have some changes for you.
15, Anthony Ferrucci.
Now on the mound is Anthony Ferrucci coming over from third base. Second baseman Sam Tabor will move over to third base. Pitcher Clay Patton will go out there and suit up in the middle infield.
Clay Patton moves to short, and A.J. Nunley goes to second.
Clay Patton will take over at short, and A.J. Nunley slides over to second base there. So Guerin Catholic's going with the first pitching change here in the top half of the fifth inning. They elect to keep all of their players in the game and just slide everybody over in the infield into their more natural positions.
Well, again, they just came off that spring break, so you're going to throw your best guy. He goes 4 innings, gave up the 1 run. Other than that, I thought he pitched well here and certainly got many times Covenant Christian completely off balance with several caught third strikes. So now you leave it up to Ferrucci, see how he does in relief, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, Patton was lights out through the first 3 innings, but then as we talked about in the fourth inning, looked a little bit more shakier, and then even though he was able to get out of it almost cleanly there, they still elected to take him out here. As the first hitter will roll over to the second baseman, and Nunley fires on first for the out, 1 down in the top half of the fifth inning.
Well, now you got to adjust as a hitter, too, because now you've seen Patton there for 4 innings, and now you got to turn around and see a different pitcher here late in the ball game, so you got to really adjust all over again.
That ball is high for a ball 1. And on Guerin's side of things, they could have elected to keep Patton out there on the mound. I think he was just starting to approach that 60 or 70 pitch count limit that they had on him for today. But I think, with the weather for tomorrow, as we see the left fielder Jamison Laughlin fly out there, that it's just maybe playing them more on the conservative end of just getting him out of the game now, getting your bullpen into the game. We mentioned how, they've got a little bit of a deep bullpen, and they've got some guys they can throw today. Ferrucci was the first one up.
Yeah, and it's too early. You still got a lot of baseball to be played, month and a half before maybe a little bit more than a month and a half before you start tournament play. So you have a lot of baseball to be played here, and you've only played 5 games so far. So you want your ace to be as healthy as you can around tournament time.
Gillespie struck out in his first at-bat as he takes that pitch for strike 1. That ball is hit out onto center field now, but it looks like they're coming in, and he does make the catch. Will Freemian out there will record the out. That's 3 outs on the inning, so we will go to the bottom of the fifth. You are watching high school baseball on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
We're back for the bottom half of the fifth inning on IndianaSRN. And Troy, our production crew is going to be busy this upcoming week. We have games tomorrow and Thursday. Starting tomorrow, we have Center Grove taking on Lawrence Central at Lawrence Central in baseball. That'll start at 6 p.m. And then on Thursday, we have Ritter going up against Lawrence Central again. Their softball team, those girls will be in play. That game will start at 5:30, and I will be on the call for that one.
If they play tomorrow, you know my saying, don't you? I won't say it on the air, but There's no way they're playing tomorrow.
You know, Troy, little optimism never hurt anybody.
I'm optimistic they won't play tomorrow.
I was that kid. I would wake up, I would look at the weather forecast, see 100% chance of rain the entire day, and be like, well, maybe we'll get this one in.
Yeah, you might.
As Buckley's pitch there is low for ball one. 1-1 count now for the the first baseman, Ryan Zimmerman. That pitch is popped up, but will be back in foul territory behind the screen.
You know, Buckley had that start in which he was up and down a little bit, went through the 3 innings, but boy, I tell you what, after he ended up striking out Ferrucci in the third, he just has sailed since then, starting to pick up a little more confidence as he throws. You can kind of tell he's got a little more oomph on his fastball when he throws.
That you can. He looks like he's really just starting to get stretched out and get in this game.
Well, there's nobody in their bullpen, so unless they find somebody out there that's a position player to change with, I think they're going to go with him because, again, the weather forecast isn't good for tomorrow, and they'd love to get a conference win tonight.
That ball is grounded out to the shortstop. He feels the play and will fire over to first for the out.
You know, Buckley did a good job keeping the ball down in the strike zone again right there and getting the ground ball, and I think both coaches would tell you that's going to be a real key because the wind, again, has been blowing here a little bit here tonight, but you want to get those balls low in the strike zone, force ground balls, and let your defense work behind you. And they don't do a lot of adjusting either in the outfield. Those guys have been playing straight away pretty much all night long.
Quinn Morrow up now as he fouls the first pitch back. Covenant Christian outfielders haven't had much action tonight, though, have they?
No, they haven't. Neither outfield really has had to do a whole lot of work. In fact, we've only had the 1 hit by Covenant, 4 hits by Guerin. Just pitching has been on the mark here tonight.
Morrow takes a golf swing at that breaking ball there. The count will go to 0-2.
And we talked about that. There's a big difference between hitting inside and outside. If you had had as much opportunity as he got him looking.
That breaking ball will drop in there for strike 3.
You know, if you haven't had a chance to hit outside a whole lot, and again, we've talked about the weather hasn't been the greatest here at the beginning of the spring, and then you take some time off for spring break, which a lot of teams did, hitting is behind. I think hitting is behind for a lot of teams so far this year, and I think we're kind of seeing a little bit here tonight.
Absolutely, because pitchers, they can find ways to throw, you know, no matter where it is, even if it's in their backyard or whatever, you know, they can just find a brick wall and just throw some baseballs up at it and keep their arm loose. But for a hitter, nothing really does replicate, you know, seeing live pitching. As that pitch is away for ball 2 there.
And the reason is you're fighting the elements out here at the same time. When you're inside the gym, just in the cage, well, everything's really controlled, not like it is right here where you see everything. The live pitching, as you'd mentioned, is a whole lot different.
That pitch is in there for strike 1.
Plus, you're not facing somebody like Buckley who can bust your chops a little bit if he wants to bring that fastball inside. It's just again back to that different animal.
That pitch has fallen off there. It'll be strike 2. Nunley's now in a 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the inning. That pitch is rolled over right out in front of the catcher. He might have a shot, and he is safe at first base. A.J. Nunley's able to beat out the little dribbler right out in front of home plate.
That ball just had no roll to it whatsoever.
Oh, and he's going to go for second base here. And I believe he is in there. Man, maybe they haven't learned their lesson so far. Here's A.J. Nunley, some aggressive base running here in the bottom of the 5th inning, trying to get something going for Guerin Catholic.
Well, the one thing about it is, and Covenant wasn't paying very close attention that time. You just can't nonchalantly throw the ball around, and it cost him a base runner.
Nunley does have some wheels on him here. As the leadoff hitter, Will Freeman will be coming back up for his 3rd plate appearance, looking to get on base for the first time. With 2 outs here, I imagine anything to the outfield will score Nunley here. As that pitch is in the dirt. and that'll be ball one.
Yeah, this will be big right here. Got to make contact. Leadoff hitter so far has been on base just one time with that error we saw in the first inning by Ware, but boy, you need some contact. You can take it to the right side.
Something interesting to note, it looks like the shortstop here is holding on the runner on second base. Normally it would be the other way around for a right hitter, but when you do have a guy like Buckley on the mound, it makes sense to kind of shift him way over to the right side and anticipate him to ground it out to the other way.
Yeah, you're not going to think that maybe Fremont will be able to pull the baseball. That would certainly be a huge advantage for Guerin because he's got a huge hole on that left side if he can do that.
He does. You just got to get it down to that side, and anything will pass through.
But then Buckley's got to be careful what he's going to throw right here.
1-2 count. And that is a fastball in there for strike 3 at the knees. That'll end the inning. Brock Buckley gets out of the little jam here. We have 1 hit, no runs, one runner left on base as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Still knotted up at 1 on IndianaSRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Top of the order here for Covenant Christian here in the top of the 6th inning. Anthony Ferrucci is still on the mound for his 2nd inning of the day. As you see, the man who started this game, Clay Patton, there fielding some ground balls at shortstop.
So when's the last time you saw a game which 8 hitters caught looking in strikeout situations? It's been a while for me.
I'll tell you what, though. If the weather does end up raining them out tomorrow, some of those guys that went down looking, they might have to run some laps inside that indoor gymnasium after going down looking that many times.
Well, and the thing is, it isn't like they're looking at bad pitches. I mean, everything that they've looked at has been really, again, a strike in the zone. You got to be up there swinging the bat.
Yeah, I don't think either team would really have too much of a gripe with the umpire from this game. He's been pretty consistent, calling the corners. You know, these pitchers have been great, and he's rewarding them.
Well, as a hitter, again, you're called a hitter for a reason. I know some guys are pretty selective on what pitches they want to try to hit. But you got to get up there, especially when you look at the top of the order, and we've had only, 2 guys left on base for Guerin. It's not like they've had a ton of guys on base in scoring position. 1 left in scoring position there for Covenant. So you know that runs are coming at a premium right now. You got to be swinging the bat.
That breaking ball is just away for ball 1 as Nolan Moore holds off on that pitch.
Yeah, but a good pitch, good waste pitch. You're up in the count. It's even getting fishing a little bit, or maybe even a weak ground ball right there.
The 1-2 pitch is just off the corner of the plate.
Well, now if I'm Moore, I'm thinking to myself, all right, he tried to go outside twice. What am I going to look at right here?
Might be trying to come right back inside with that fastball. Nope, actually elects for a breaking ball down there in the dirt. And it'll go to a full count now, 3-2.
Well, now here's again that old protection thing. You got to really be ready to swing the bat. Anything close, don't let yourself get caught again like you did back in the 1st inning. Because right now you're getting crunch time in the 6th inning. You need base runners.
Oh, Nolan Moore hits that ball down the line, and it will stay fair and take a 1-hop off the fence as he rounds the bases, headed towards second, and he will be in at second base with a stand-up leadoff double for Nolan Moore.
Good piece of hitting. Moore saw the pitch. It came inside. He had a 3-2 count. He knew he was going to be up there swinging the bat. That's what you need your leadoff hitter to do. Now the question is, we said a little bit ago, you're in crunch time, 6th inning. Do you let Kimberly advance him to 3rd because it could make the difference? You get that guy just 90 feet away.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that Covenant Christian elects to go with here. They do have their 2-hitter up in the lineup. Have a chance for a big rally here if they elect to do that.
Well, I think you try to get him over to third.
We do see the bunt attempt here, but that is bunted away. Foul behind the catcher.
Well, and Guerin was thinking the same thing as well, as you saw their first baseman, Alexander, take that back, your first baseman, Zimmerman, coming in. And they're going to anticipate the same thing. Now, a lot of guys can't bunt very well, but I would imagine that Kimberly can. He's got to get it to the right side.
Pick-off play here. Oh, they got him at second base. Nolan Moore gets picked off there.
We have seen so many base running errors here today, and that's the second really major one there by Covenant Christian. That's just, that's a backbreaker.
The 0-1 count here for Kimberly as he will hit that in the air down the right field line, headed towards foul territory. Oh, what an effort by the first baseman, Ryan Zimmerman, but he's unable to lay out for that grab.
Well, we're going to do another one of those what-ifs, aren't we? When you think about having Moore at second base and Kimberly up there just trying to get him down to third, and as a base runner, that's the plan. Don't try to get off that bag too far, because if he gets it to the right side, you got plenty of time to get to third.
Kimberly pops this one up, but it'll be closer towards the infield, and Zimmerman's able to get underneath this one and make the catch. And, you know, that looked like a savvy pickoff play from Guerin Catholic, because that looked like something that either the catcher called and everybody knew what was happening, or that came from the dugout.
Well, and you also got to look, how far did he get off? Did you get an idea that he was going to get that far off? I doubt it, and they probably been a little bit surprised he got that far off the base. But they also knew he was going to maybe take that extra step, because they knew they need to get him to third. So just a tough half inning there if you're Covenant Christian, and you're a team that has struggled scoring runs, and that's just it. You can't take guys off base like that.
The 3-hitter now, Trey Rapogel, will step up. He swung and missed at the first pitch and takes that one to go into a 1-1 count. Well, we know what Trey Rapogel did back in the third inning. He was the one that put Covenant Christian on the board, give them their one run. Let's see if he doesn't have a little juice still left in that bat.
Well, Ferrucci knows that too. He's going to try to keep Rapogel from getting his arms extended like he did in that third inning.
2 outs here. You certainly don't want to get too far off of Rapogel and then walk him and have Buckley come up, but after seeing what we saw in that third inning, you know, you got to pick and choose your battles here if you're Ferrucci.
Well, and again, runs have been at a premium. We kind of thought that might be the case when we saw both pitchers in their matchup here today. So, tell you what, anytime you get a guy on base, anything can happen, but you got to get him on and you got to leave him on.
The 2-2 pitch here. It is a fastball up in the zone. We'll go to a full count now.
Well, now it's pick your poison. Do you want to keep after Rapogel and a 3-2 pitch right here that might cost you or get him on base, and go ahead and take your chances with Buckley? Either way, two very, very good hitters to try to challenge.
The 3-2 pitch here. And it is a strike 3 on the corner. It looked like a breaking ball that maybe Trey Rapogel thought was going to be off the plate, but the umpire said it got just enough. We will head to the bottom of the 6th inning as Guerin Catholic will look to take the lead here on IndianaSRN. We're back for the bottom half of the 6th inning here, as we're getting a little bit more of a breeze here as the sun's starting to go away and nighttime is rolling in here.
When is it going to hit 70 today? Because they told me 70, and it's already 6:41, and I don't think it's hit close to 70. So, but that wind is blowing. You can see the netting to our right really picking up. So you never know. Get one up in the air, and that's jet stream again. We might see another dinger.
And, just taking a quick look at the forecast here, it's 64 degrees right now, and it was 63 at the start of the game, but something just doesn't quite add up.
No, the meteorologist missed the target big time today. I knew it was going to be cloudy. It's going to be nice and warm today. Yeah, right.
Brock Buckley is back out on the mound for his 6th inning of work, as Anthony Ferrucci will lead off here.
Baseball, you can fail 7 out of 10 times and be a Hall of Famer, and you can be a weatherman and fail 90% of the time and still be a weatherman.
That's good to know, Troy. Maybe I'll take up a different career path if this whole calling baseball games doesn't work out.
Meteorologist, yeah. I mean, what do? Stand there in front of a green screen, tell them what the temperature is? Come on.
They just kind of point at things.
I'm just kidding. That's a tough job.
Ferrucci fouls that one back behind over the first base dugout, and we'll go to a 1-2 count here.
It's a busy campus today. A baseball here. You have tennis going on behind us. You have track and field going on as well. I can hear the runners over there, and everybody's sprinting.
It is great to see spring sports back in full action as Ferrucci grounds out there to the shortstop, and a good play over on to get the ball to first base just in time to record the out.
Yeah, Rapogel has a very strong arm, did a nice job moving to his right, and once he planted that foot, made a strike to first base. That's a good out, big out right there, knowing you have the number 2 hitter in your pocket. Now you go and attack the number 3 hitter.
It's a good job of Rapogel, too, to take his time out there, understanding the arm strength he has, knows just how much time he had to get it over there. As the first pitch will be up above the catcher, it'll be ball 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, the only run they've given up, and speaking of Covenant, again, you look back, Frankton gave up just 5 runs to Guerin, but other than that, they had 8, 8, and 10 in the next 3 games, so this is quite a performance tonight by Buckley to hold this Guerin Catholic team in check.
That it is, and Buckley is starting to reach that pitch count limit that he has on here. Their coach said he wasn't going to throw any more than 100 pitches, but maybe somewhere around that 85 to 90 mark is where they might seriously start to question it. Now, he has been rolling here, and as you know, low-stress pitches are much better for a pitcher's arm than high-stress ones where they're constantly having guys on base as he gets the first strike there.
Well, again, that's a gamble you take. If you leave him in, how long do you leave him? You certainly don't want to go past 7 if you don't have to, but you also have a great chance to win if he's on the mound. And now, here's another opportunity. If you're Guerin, you got a guy on base. You're going to have to be very smart now with Wagner coming to the plate.
Wagner.
But I still feel if I'm Guerin right now, I want to get that guy across the plate here, and I don't want to go to extra innings. I'm going to try everything I can to get Patton to second. I'm not sure I'd sacrifice Wagner right here, but I'd certainly give an opportunity for Patton to steal down at first base.
Patton had a good-sized lead there, but gets back on the pickoff attempt.
Yeah, he takes that extra half step. And they'll generally tell you if you can get back in time, take another half step. And I thought you saw 2 pretty good moves there by Buckley, so that might have been his best moves we've seen so far.
He now fires to home. Fouled quickly off the bat of Davis Wagner.
Wagner had that double back in the second. I know he was caught looking in the 4th. So he's seen plenty of pitches so far here from Buckley, so he had a pretty good idea of what to expect.
And he scored the lone run for Guerin Catholic back in that second inning. As Buckley gets set and deals, the runners take it off from first, and we have no throw here from the catcher, as it was a great jump by Patton there, and he's able to swipe the bag and get in scoring position here with 1 down.
Yeah, he got that off Buckley. Buckley looked at him one time and then didn't come back and give him another peek, and That was a great job by Pat to see that he didn't look and stole that one off the pitcher.
Wagner back up the middle, and they've got Patton hung down in between second and third base. They're getting him into a rundown now, and he is out at third base as they just barely got him on the throw.
I thought that maybe got under the tag right there, but talking about a good play by Buckley.
Here's the replay of it. That is a bang play there.
I thought he got in.
He may very well have. He did also come off the base, though, when he slid past him, so it was a good job there of whoever was holding down third base at that point to keep the tag on him. But more questionable base running as we now have a runner on second base with 2 outs as Wagner is able to get to second base on that rundown.
Well, that's an understatement. Unquestionable base running. Anytime the ball's tapped like that, as a base runner, you freeze. You do not make a move. You'll have time to get back, and Buckley was going to make his throw to first base, and then if he makes that throw, maybe gamble for third. But, boy, at this stage, we've seen so many big mistakes on the base paths that both teams are going to look back at this and think, boy, what this cost us a game. They're going to see a pinch runner down at second base. Looks like Sam Miller
comes in for Davis Wagner. This could very well be for speed and defensive purposes here with 2 out, as he will take over in right field, presumably. That's where Wagner was playing.
And, of course, if I'm Buckley now, I just worry about the hitter. Don't worry too much about the guy at second.
That pitch just missed there. We go to a 1-1 count on Sam Tabor.
Tabor had the sacrifice back in the second, picked up a single in the fourth.
And the 1-1 pitch is fouled off to his own dugout.
Everything that Guerin is hitting is just, there's nothing on it. And I'm sure Buckley's losing a little bit off his fastball and such, but he's still got enough movement there where the hitters just cannot get anything solid right now. And I'm sure there's probably a little concern if you go to the bullpen for Covenant, how strong their bullpen is at this point in the season. They're probably still trying to develop guys, but they want to use Buckley as long as they can because he probably gives them their best chance to win.
Absolutely, as he stares the runner back and fires the 1-2 pitch. Is a high fastball, trying to get him to chase there, but Tabor holds.
Well, Miller doing a good job at second base, just from a standpoint, try to split that concentration, Buckley, between him and the hitter, because sometimes you make a big mistake on the mound if you're not concentrating the right way, but he did.
Buckley gets the curveball in there for strike 3 looking, as we will head to the top of the 7th inning, still tied at 1. We will be back on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
We're back for the top of the 7th inning on IndianaSRN. We are still all tied at 1s as Anthony Ferrucci will take the mound again for his 3rd inning in relief for Clay Patton, who is standing out there at shortstop. Brock Buckley on the other end for Covenant Christian. We heard he was their ace coming into this game, and he has delivered everything that we was promised and more.
Well, in Guerin, again, we talked about the base running errors. There's just been a lot of errors tonight from a mental standpoint on both sides, but Guerin coming off the spring break, making some really costly base running errors late in the ball game. Really thought they set themselves up perfectly to get that go-ahead run, and it just didn't happen. So now you're down to pretty much one inning, and you're going to have to go deep into that bullpen. That will probably be the difference.
Covenant Christian does have 4, 5, 6 up in their order right now as their pitcher, Brock Buckley, comes up to hit. That pitch is in there for strike 2.
When it appears he's probably done, as Kimmerly is down in the bullpen now throwing for Covenant. So I would imagine Buckley's done for the night from a pitching standpoint.
Takes that pitch in the dirt for ball 1.
You know, all he has to do is hit a home run and then have your bullpen hold and you get the win, right? You don't have nothing to worry about.
A one-man wrecking crew, Brock Buckley.
Then he might end with no decision.
That pitch is fouled back to the net there. Ooh, the curveball from Ferrucci was over the plate but just missed.
Oh. Did you hear the grunts and groans by everybody? That was close.
Ferrucci fires the 2-2 pitch, and that will be in the dirt. Full count now for Buckley.
Well, now if you get Buckley on, Nardi is next, the number 5 hitter. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to sacrifice him to second and then hope that Buckley doesn't get picked off in any way, but you don't have to worry about it now.
Buckley hits a shot back up into center field, and that'll be a base hit as he leads off this top of the 7th inning with a single.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's only their second hit of the night. Is that true? Yeah, they had the home run by Rapogel and then the base hit right there. So now you've got Nardi. He's 0 for 2. I don't know what kind of bunter he is, but I'm telling you what, I'm going to do everything I can to get my runner into scoring position, and that gives me 2 more hitters to try to get him across. This is what we call just good fundamental baseball.
Ferrucci fires the first pitch here, and it is a breaking ball off the plate as Nardi takes a big swing and a miss at it.
Well, they had no indication they were going to sacrifice there at all. They're letting Nardi hit through here. So that probably tells me he's not a real good bunter.
It's one of the forgotten traits in today's game of baseball. Mm-hmm. You know, we love to sit up here and say, you know, maybe they should have bunted in this situation or in that situation, but you have to have a player that can get it down first of all.
Yeah, but now you find yourself down at 0-2 if you're not a good bunter, and there really isn't any reason why you can't be a good bunter. It's something you got to work on. If you even just take, it's like free throw shooting. Got to take a little more time yourself to do it. Do it.
Oh, 2 pitch here, and it is a fastball up high.
Now Nardi, a good waist pitch there, high and outside, just trying to maybe get Nardi to swing at something he didn't like. But now Nardi's got to really protect right here.
Ooh, foul tip, strike 3. Brad Nardi will go down swinging as Ferrucci gets the first out here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm just guessing that Nardi's not a good bunter, but other than that, I just think from a strategic standpoint, I'd try to get my runner to second base, because now you get a ground ball here, a double play possibly out of the inning, and now you got to hold off Guerin in the bottom half of the 7th. And it looks like, again, you're going to go to your bullpen, so you're done with Buckley for the night. Of course, your other option here is if you think you can steal Buckley here and get him down to second without worrying about sacrificing it out.
Jackson Ware fouls off that breaking ball.
Now, I've seen
strike 1.
Dorsey's got a pretty good arm, so I'm going to understand why they probably are a little bit hesitant on trying to steal Buckley at first. Well, he's got a pretty decent lead.
We know he's an athlete, too, as he takes off here. The throw from Dorsey, and it is just offline as Buckley is able to get in there.
Well, really with a bad throw, kind of surprised second baseman came over to take that throw instead of your shortstop, but now you have an opportunity right here. Get a base hit, perhaps get Buckley across the plate for the go-ahead run.
0-2 count on Ware here. It is a breaking ball in the dirt, and he holds on that pitch. You know, sometimes as a catcher, when you have a great arm and everybody's afraid to run on you, your arm can get a little cold throughout the course of the game there. So when it is somebody that does actually go, you're not always firing your best pitch down to second base.
That's true, but he's still throwing back to the pitcher. He'll be those guys again. They'll be fine. In fact, they almost look forward to the challenge of throwing people out.
Oh, and that is a line drive to left field. Buckley will round third base, but hold there as that ball is fired back into the cutoff. We will have runners at first and third here for the Covenant Christian Warriors with one out.
All right, now you've got Jones at the plate. You still have just the one out. You got the go-ahead run now just 90 feet away. The one thing you want to try to do if you can, get it to the right side if possible.
Next up, the catcher, number 27.
Because even if you hit a ground ball to the right side, Buckley's got pretty good speed down at third, trying to make a play at the plate if you get a decent lead down at third base.
Here is the catcher, Nolan Jones.
And I'll tell you what, my God, first base better not get picked off.
We see an intentional pitch out there, potentially looking for something happening.
I'll tell you what, he is going nowhere. I don't care what he does down there. They will tie him to the base. He is not going unless he absolutely has to. We've seen enough errors on the base pass so far that everybody's a little more cautious.
That pitch is also high up in the zone for ball 2, 2-0 here.
See, now the advantage you have here with Jones, you're up 2-0. I'm going to make him throw a strike first before I even attempt anything at this stage. Make him throw some pitches he doesn't want to pitch. And he's down in the count now, and that puts a little more pressure on him.
Ooh. That ball was down low in the dirt, but Nolan Jones unable to check his swing there. He goes after it 2-1.
Again, what did I just say a little bit ago? I'm not swinging at anything. I'm going to make him throw me a strike before I do it. Not a check swing, nothing.
That was actually my baseball coach's philosophy, was when we go up in the 7th inning in a tied or one-run game that we were never going to swing until we saw a strike. Ball is grounded here as the runner will come home and the shortstop will go over to first base to get the out. 2 outs here now in the inning for Guerin Catholic, but Covenant Christian scores the go-ahead run and will take the 2-1 lead.
Good job by Jones that time. Make contact. I thought maybe there might be a play at third by Tabor, but he didn't even look toward home. He went right to first base, so that's a good job of baseball right there and a good piece of hitting by Nolan Jones. Make the contact, make the defense make the play.
That really is just a split-second 50-50 call when you're a runner on third base there and it is hit to the third baseman. So it's a tough play for the third baseman to make. As that pitch goes off the glove and we see the runner on second take off, and we'll get into third there as Jackson Ware moves over onto third base and is just 90 feet away from scoring now.
Well, I know it's a 50-50 thing down at third, but I also know I'm in the 7th inning, and bottom line is I got to do something to make that runner at least maybe trips and falls on the way to the plate, something to get him out. I just don't want to give up the go-ahead run now, knowing that we've made so many mistakes and we're going to the bottom of the order to hit. I think you got to try to make a play.
Buckley scored that run, but as you mentioned, Buckley is likely coming out of this game. That could also play in their thought process too of, hey, we got their ace out of the game, even if we're down 1, as that pitch is fouled off him in the batter's box. And that will be a foul ball there, as we heard some of the fans behind us get excited about that one.
Tinley got down the line pretty quick. That would have been an interesting play if that didn't go foul. We can think, well, we're going to go to the bullpen, so we still have a chance to win, which is true, because I don't know anything much really about the Covenant Christian bullpen, but I don't like taking that chance knowing that if I at least had an opportunity to get that runner at home, I'm going to take it. Because, again, your bats haven't been doing a whole lot here tonight.
It is a big pitch from Ferrucci there as that ball had serious run on it, and it is swung and foul tipped back into the catcher's mitt.
I would imagine for Guerin, they kind of feel maybe they've been on spring break still because they just haven't had that offense that we've seen through the first 4 games.
That ball just misses up in the zone.
And again, we're talking about the bottom of the order, which so far tonight you've had Nunley really be the spark at the bottom of the order.
That ball is grounded out to the third baseman, who fields the play and fires to first base, but it is offline and it goes off of the first baseman Ryan Zimmerman's glove, and Covenant Christian will score another run as Jackson Ware comes across the plate to score.
See, there's the thing. Now it's happening where if I had an opportunity to get that play at the plate, who knows, I might be out of the inning. But now you've got another run. Your mindset changes just a little bit now when you're down 2 runs going into the bottom of the inning.
And also the speed there from Tyndall, as you mentioned just a moment ago, got down that line so fast. Saw the third baseman just fielded it and threw it as quickly as he could, and he still was barely there in time. And then the result was it was offline because he rushed it.
Well, you know as well as I do, when you see that runner out of the corner of your eye, and you know I better hurry this a little bit. It was just off the mark. Still probably catchable at first, but you got that runner bearing down on you as well.
As the 9-hitter, Ty Gillespie comes up.
Well, this would be a huge win tonight for Covenant. Again, they just haven't been able to put things together so far in early portion of the season, but a chance to pick a big conference win here tonight.
That ball is fouled back to the screen. 0-2 now on Gillespie.
You know, I'll give him credit because the way this game started, I mean, they just, a lot of guys just watching good pitches go by, and Guerin had opportunities there in the 3rd inning, back in the 5th inning as well, and just couldn't get guys across because of base running errors.
That ball is popped up. It'll stay in the infield. Zimmerman is under it and makes the play. Covenant Christian did all the damage they needed to do. 2 runs in the top half of the 7th inning, and now we will go to the bottom of the 7th. 3-1 is your score. We'll be back on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We are back in the bottom half of the 7th inning as we saw Covenant Christian get 2 runs there in the top half of the 7th to break the rubber match of 1-1 score and take the lead here. Guerin Catholic has more hits in this game, 6-4, more overall base runners too. What do they need to do here against Buckley?
Well, the big news is Buckley's back out again. I thought maybe they're going to take him out.
It was a ground ball to the other way. Gets just under the first baseman's glove, and that'll be a base hit for the catcher, Bryson Dorsey, leading off the inning. That's a good start, Troy.
Well, I'm not sure Ware didn't see that baseball coming off the back, because I thought he was going to have a play on it. But you're right, it's a good start for Guerin. But back to what we thought maybe Covenant was going to take Buckley out, but once he got those 2 runs right there, they're smelling victory. So they're thinking, hey, we have a chance to close out this game, and so we're going to leave him in. It'll be interesting to see how long that they'll leave him in the ball game, as you'll see a pinch hitter right here for Guerin as Caden Ratcliffe will come to the plate. But the good news is if you're Covenant Christian, you know that runner at first didn't mean a whole lot right now. So even if they try to sacrifice him over, you're still in pretty good shape with 1 out.
Yep, no need to worry about the runner here. Just focus on the hitter. And the pitch is fired on and swung and a miss for strike 1. Do I believe what I see here, Troy?
Sunshine.
Do we have some sunshine on the field? Now that we're in the bottom of the 7th inning, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to last.
Buckley fires the pitch, and that is swung on and missed again.
See, and this is tough for a pinch hitter come in here. You're facing Buckley, still throwing very, very well here in the 7th inning, and you got to face a guy who is throwing as hard as he is, and you're coming off the bench cold. That's really, really difficult.
A tough ask for sure as he fights that ball off.
Well, he just gives him a steady diet of fastballs right there. But I tell you what, if I'm Buckley at this stage and he's thrown a pretty good breaking pitch, I'd come back with something right here. I can waste a pitch and still be up in the count.
Another fastball there. Buckley might be thinking in the back of his mind that he knows his pitches and batters are limited here. Maybe wants to just go right at him with the fastball to try to conserve pitches. But so far, he's already had to throw 4 to the pinch hitter. Ooh. Radcliffe just gets out of the way of that breaking ball.
Yeah, I don't mind coming in tight with that pitch. Just don't want 2 runners on base. Don't worry about that guy at first base again right now if you're Buckley, because he's not going anywhere.
Can almost even have your first baseman just play back and not even hold him on.
Well, the other thing, too, don't pitch around Ratcliffe either. Just go right at him again. Because even though he did foul the one pitch off there, he was way behind on the swing, so you got to go attack him.
The 2-2 count here in the bottom half of the 7th. And that is a breaking ball in the dirt, swung on and missed. And the batter and the runner on first is able to take second base there. Good heads-up base running. Also good job by the catcher, Nolan Jones, understanding what was going on. With a runner on first, that hitter was out as soon as he swung. Didn't matter that the ball was in the dirt because there was nowhere for him to go. Nolan Jones tried to get the out at second, but the runner's able to take the base.
Yeah, but that could have been real costly, too. If he gets thrown out at second base, all of a sudden you got 2 outs there. Again, it's just been kind of a night where it's been interesting in the base running department. Some things we just haven't seen as many times in one game as we've seen tonight.
Buckley delivers a 1-0 fastball there up in the zone, and Morrow's just able to hold off on that one. 2-0 is the count. Good job by Morrow to lay off 2 tough pitches there to open that bat. Whew, another tough pitch, just missed on the inside corner.
Well, now, Buckley, just even if you have to take something off your fastball, just throw a strike right here. Make that guy use that bat, put it in play.
You almost think there's no chance Morrow would swing there as that fastball gets in.
That's what you call a armpit strike. That was up there a little bit. But again, it's armpits to your knees, so people just aren't used to that. Did in Major League Baseball and made him go a little higher in the strike zone.
That pitch is popped out into right field. Fielder is under it and will make the catch.
One more!
Nolan Moore makes the catch out there in right field. And Covenant Christian has 2 on down now.
You know, Morrow had no choice but to swing at that pitch. I'll tell you why, because he knew that if another one was going to come in, he got called on a 3rd strike, he'd been in really big trouble. And unfortunately, it's just the way it is. You got to adjust as a hitter how the umpire's going to call it. He's been pretty consistent all night.
Yeah, and it was a good job of just making contact and seeing if you couldn't get something going there.
Well, this has been hard out guy right here.
Big swing there from A.J. Nunley.
For Buckley, though, he's had a tough time with the number, 9 hitter in the lineup. He's really hit well tonight.
He has. Nunley's even a freshman, too, getting the call on varsity, and you can see why with the tough at-bats that he puts together. That breaking ball will miss up in the zone. It was too high coming across the plate.
Well, yeah, coach's sons, they'll talk about baseball, basketball, whatever it is for a long time. So from an IQ standpoint, they're very, very smart.
That breaking ball is in there for strike 2. Nunley shakes his head as he will. Oh! And the catcher overthrows the pitcher there.
I tell you what, That will drive you just absolutely nuts as a head coach. Just simple little things there. You give up a base like that, you just don't know how it's going to affect the game. But I'm even looking down the line. You just don't want to make those mistakes.
Even in a situation right now where that runner doesn't matter at all, you just don't want to do that. Buckley fires there, and that ball is high.
I guess the only advantage is if you're Buckley, you're going to work from the windup instead of the stretch, so that might help him a little. He might be more comfortable doing it that way.
2-2 pitch. And it is swung on and missed for strike three as Brock Buckley strikes out. A.J. Nunley there, and that will do it here today. Covenant Christian gets the victory 3-1. Brock Buckley scores the go-ahead run to put them on top in the top of the 7th inning, and then finishes off pitching-wise in the bottom of the 7th inning for a complete game.
That's a big win. If you're Covenant, you came in, you were struggling offensively. You're facing a Guerin team. They had their number one out there. You just didn't stop playing, and both teams made some, I thought, costly mistakes that they're probably going to go back and look and say, guys, if we're going to win consistently, we can't do this ever again. We can't make, especially Guerin. They made some really, really bad base running errors that potentially cost them the game tonight, but you really got to give Covenant Christian a lot of credit for coming in here tonight and picking up their first conference win.
Absolutely, and you said it earlier in the game when this pitching duel was starting to break out that this might be the type of game that you hate to almost see one of the teams lose. Well, I think we almost went in the opposite direction with that at points in this game, where I think both coaches, when they're talking to their teams, when they might reflect, they might say, hey, phenomenal job on the pitching. Everybody else, I'm not sure if we really even did deserve to win that game.
Well, yeah, but the game of baseball is like anything else. If you take advantage of another team's mistakes, and that's what really Covenant did. I mean, they took advantage of the mistakes. They were allowed to get back into the ball game after Guerin, again, had eliminated a couple of base runners in scoring position, and Guerin will look at that and go, listen, we got to learn off of this. But, again, Buckley pitched well, and you know what, to bring him back in that late in the ball game when it was 1-1, and you thought, well, he's done for the night, but Buckley deserved to get the win. He pitched really, really well, and certainly Covenant Christian deserves to get the win.
Really shows how much Coach Stevenson has trust in Buckley to go back out there in the 7th inning and finish one off. And it also shows how, just the maturity and the composure of Buckley to be able to go out there just cool-headed, be able to continue firing, pick up the victory, get the complete game, but also just shows how important this game was for Covenant Christian. They were 0-2 coming into this game in league play. Now they'll go to 1-2. Guerin Catholic was 2-0. They'll go to 2-1. These teams, they could meet down the line again in eventual, Circle City playoff matchup. And they're two rivals that know each other well. I think both teams really wanted this one.
Well, they might play tomorrow. We don't know whether that's going to happen or not. I know the forecast isn't good because we're talking only tornado-type stuff when it comes to a weather situation. So I don't know. I mean, if you're Guerin, you're chomping at the bit to get back and play again because you gave up this game the way that you did, made some costly mistakes. If you're Covenant, you're going to go in that ball game saying it wasn't a fluke, and we're going to try to do it again. Now, Buckley won't throw tomorrow, so you're going to find somebody else that's going to step up and pitch in game number 2. But from a mental standpoint, you got to feel real confident going in if you're Covenant.
Yeah, I heard from Coach that Brad Nardi was planning on starting him tomorrow. He will have all his pitchers outside of Buckley ready to go. Big thanks to our cameraman, Nick Lewis, for delivering all of the shots today and for his phenomenal camera work. And, of course, our on-site producer, Ben Wood, for everything he does. Big thanks to my co-host, Troy Darengowski. I'm James Andrews, and we'll see you next time on Indiana SRN.